Just
bam,
do it.
bam, do it,
Live.
do it. It's live, it's live. Switching over. Boom,
Yeah,
boom,
do it. Yeah.
boom, boom, boom.
Boom.
Hi guys.
Welcome to Manga Pod.
I'm sitting here like, what?
Welcome to Manga Pod, Manga Pod Book Club. We are a weekly podcast in which we get together after we have read a manga or part of a manga, and then we discuss about it. We discuss it, talk about it.
But we're one person short.
We are, but our wonderful tsundere Yokorama has succumbed to the flu, but we have replaced him with another tsundere.
It's really the best possible.
The best. The best male.
So.
The only thing that's sad about it is their bangs are going the opposite way. Otherwise, it's like,
That is true.
it's obviously him.
We really should have thrown that into Photoshop and swapped it. What were we thinking?
Otherwise, you know, it's a dead ringer. It looks exactly like you, Yoku. Right? I think so.
P.S. He's a mod right now.
His
We
face,
miss
he
you.
made a funny face. We miss you, Yoku. We hope that you survive, and that you live on, despite it. Your hair is so green, Yokorama. Don't try to deny it.
Joker, come on.
Come on, Yoku. Come on.
Wow. So, Aaron,
Oh.
which manga did we read this week?
We read volumes 4 through 6 of a manga that we actually read the volumes for on our very first manga pod. We read Shingeki no Kyojin, or Attack on Titan, which is one that I think was the one that we all loved the most so far. Out of all the ones we've read, I think it's the one we all
I
had
think
the
it's
same
the one that we've all
consensus.
unanimously been like, this is good.
So good. We
Yeah.
also read we didn't read it. We also watched the very first episode of the anime that premiered this past Saturday.
Yeah.
We'll get into it, but spoiler, it's really good.
Aaron, wow, gosh.
I'm sorry, I just couldn't keep it in.
Spoiling everything, wow.
So good.
Spoiler-free review yet.
Gosh. Oh, speaking of spoilers, if you have never joined us for a manga pod before, we like to give a little brief taste of the manga that we read that is spoiler free, so that if you do eventually want to read it, you will not be spoiled. And if you want to go and read it after we've given the description, then you can come back and watch the VOD of this on my channel, Happily Aaron. I should also, out of order, introduce my co-hosts. Though if you guys have
What
watched,
we really needed to introduce was me and Joker.
Yeah.
So,
obviously, it's
I mean,
true.
we are really inconsequential right now. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
mean
matter.
nothing.
We
can just get replaced
I
by
just
different characters.
say, I just like start
As it
pacing.
goes on, she just puts up different Kuroko characters in our place. We're like, wait,
Wait,
no,
wait.
we're still here.
What? Meow, meow. You can hear us. I promise we're still here. We're still ourselves. Oh, Dazza, it looks like your audio is a little too low.
Yeah, I'm just turning it up.
Okay.
How's that? How's that, guys? Is that good?
Is that better? Am I still?
Mine is too.
Apparently, I'm just really loud, but Aaron, it's
Aaron's too.
Okay, but
Oh.
if I do things, I might. Okay, guys, hold on, Skype. I'm gonna switch out to the splash screen really quick because I would probably show every single person's Skype names. So hold on. Okay, I love you all. This is nothing unusual. Being unprepared is manga
Totally
pod.
normal.
It's totally
Not a
normal.
big D.
How do I? It's such a tiny D.
It's like the smallest D.
It's the smallest D.
Oh, we like the D, don't we?
Okay, chat. How am I doing
We're
now?
really into the D.
How am
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
love the D. I love all of the
God, we just think we're so funny.
D. We are hilarious.
Are funny.
Chat, how am I? Am I quieter? Am I good? Am I?
I have
You sound exactly the same to me.
I have my volume turned up as high as it can go on my end. Um,
better. Okay.
So
I'm turned all of the way down, so I am not
I'm just gonna put the
Going
microphone
to be-
right in front of my
Hang on,
face.
I'm gonna turn you guys up.
Hello, Manga Pod. How are you?
It's all good.
Manga-
Now you're too low.
How you doing?
Gosh dang it! I hate
I'm
everything.
so glad that you came
Okay.
to
I think
NPR
we're good.
Manga Edition.
Though I don't know what happened.
Today we will be discussing
25%
panel sizes.
Go on.
How do we feel about panel sizes?
Panel sizes are amazing. Okay, guys. What about now? Because that's the in between. That's the in between. The green guy on the bottom is the loudest. Can we just get him off?
It's his fault. It's always his fault.
Okay, perfect. That's great. David says that's great. I'm going with David. How do I get back to things? Where am I? Who am I? Oh.
Today on NPR,
Okay, hi. Welcome back.
discuss XSplit and how to use it.
And how Aaron.
Welcome back to Manga Pod. For those of you who are in the chat asking who's using the pedo voice, that would be me.
Of course, as always.
The
who
one who
else?
doesn't know where she is, that would be me. Don't know what I'm doing. Dodger, why don't you introduce yourself super duper quick and then we'll go on. And, well, Dazza, you'll introduce yourself as well and then we'll go on and do the thing that we do.
The Dr. Dazza description?
Yes.
Okay, I'm Dodger, and I do a gaming channel and also a vlog channel. Dazza, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Dazza, and I do an anime review channel and an anime news channel. There we go.
Fantastic!
Boom,
How about
dang.
that Dr. Dazza description,
Dr.
Dazza?
Dazza
Doctor?
description.
Mr. Dazza Doctor?
There. Several hundred years ago, humans were nearly exterminated by giants. Giants are typically several stories tall, seem to have no intelligence, devour human beings, and, worst of all, seem to do it for the pleasure rather than food source. A small percentage of humanity survived by walling themselves in a city protected by extremely high walls, even taller than the biggest of giants. Flash forward to the present, and the city has not seen a giant in over 100 years. Teenage boy Eren and his foster sister Mikasa witness something horrific as the city walls are destroyed by a super giant that appears out of thin air. As the smaller giants flood the city, the two kids watch in horror as their mother is eaten alive. Eren vows that he, or she, depending on who it is at the moment, will murder every single giant and take revenge for all of mankind. That's it.
Boom.
That's all you guys.
Done. Beautiful job, sir, Dr. Dazza.
Good job.
You did fantastic.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
This is what happens when Yoku's not here.
He-
To, like, just judge us.
He's the one who keeps us on track. He lets us know when we've been letting a joke go too far. But that is the super spoiler-free description, so that if you are now have not seen it or read it, you can go check it out, because that's as spoiler-free as we are going to be from here on out. We are going to get very in-depth.
We're gonna get
Dig
dirty.
deep. We're gonna dig
Wait,
deep with
Going,
this.
we
Deep,
go for
deep in the dirt.
before I
If-
get that is
If you don't like spoilers, you leave. You should
You don't
leave.
like dirt.
If you don't
Go
like,
take a shower, sir and or madam.
sir.
Why don't we start talking about the manga itself?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, let's do this. Okay, guys. So we read chapters 14 through 26 this time, and where we left off, we read the first 13 chapters last time, the first 3 volumes, and we left off with Eren having turned into the Titan in order to pick up the rock, the
Boulder.
the
Yes.
boulder, and seal up the hole that the one Colosso Titan put in, so that they could clean up, kill the rest of the Titans, and basically save themselves. So that's where we ended off. He ended up being sucked into the Titan, like some weird state of some sort.
Yeah,
and
I can't remember how he wound up just like being asleep.
I know, I don't
Like,
remember
he was
either.
basically just sitting there asleep. And everybody was like, wake up! Because all of the Titans were coming in.
Yeah, and they
Everyone.
had to like knock him down. Like the Titan was like just kind of sitting there, and Armin stabbed him in the arm and was like, "What are you doing?" And then he was back, like imagining his home life with his mom and his dad and Mikasa. So
Yeah.
that's
I think
where
it was
we
supposed
left
to be
off.
like representative of him like finding a peaceful state because his mind was undergoing a lot of stress, sort of a thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good way to. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's imagining himself like in his house with his family, even though he doesn't have his family anymore, etc.
Yeah. So that's where we left off, and then we came back, kind of concluded that whole thing. After Armin stabbed him in the arm. Then, what happened immediately after that? I'm like such a goober. I can't remember that very first chapter. It feels like so long ago.
Okay, so Armin was like banging on the window in his mind
Yes.
Yeah.
and was trying to remind him of his ambitions, like to get past the wall and to help humankind, and like you can't just sit in your house, you know, you have to get up and do something.
Yeah, you have to fight.
Yeah,
You have to get up and fight. That's right. That whole inspirational I need to fight thing happened. I was in
Yes.
I was in inspirational tears from that.
then-
Inspired tears. That would be the
Inspired
correct
tears.
correct form of that word.
And
And
then
what?
and then he like gained control of his Titan self and woke up, but still didn't remember anything that he did while he was out of control as the Titan.
Yeah.
And then picked up the boulder and had one of those moments that's like so brutal where he's walking through and seeing all of these people that he knows just get ripped apart and eaten by these Titans, and just knows that he can't stop to help them. Like he has to keep
Yeah.
going. He's just walking through. That killed me. I was like, I can't even imagine that moment when you're like, I have one goal and I have to focus on that goal. I can't save anybody right now. And it's just like, oh,
It was so sad.
yeah.
But inspiring, yeah, like
But
just
really,
you have to
like,
keep pushing through. It's the idea about like going into war and having to like focus.
See, I can imagine that scene when it's being animated with just the epic choir music in the background from like Sword Art Online.
absolutely.
That epic music in the background where he's just holding
no.
the boulder and he's walking through and it's just stomping.
The
I could imagine
stomps,
that.
yeah,
stomps!
like the really loud stomps.
Oh
Yeah.
Choir
man.
music. Yes.
With the soundtrack, we also watched the very first episode of the anime. I can't remember if I said that,
Oh.
but we're gonna be talking about that. And with the soundtrack that's already come out, just imagining what's going to.
good.
It was so good. Just imagining that with that soundtrack. There was a lot when I was reading that I was just like imagining the music in my head, and I was like, "This is gonna be the most epic thing. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good." Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so he plugged up the wall, and then he passed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Armin showed up and, like, ripped him out of the Titan body, and he had a fever, and he was all messed up.
Yep.
And they were like, shoot, now what do we do about all these Titans? And then Levi and all of his badasses showed up, and they killed everybody.
I
That's
love.
what I got from that one page.
That's what I got from that page.
Levi showed up.
I mean, Levi pretty much steals the show whenever he pops in my opinion. He's my new fictional love. I love him. I don't care if he has so many dick moves. He's fantastic. He could be a huge dick, but he's at the same time so great.
He is great.
So great.
And they wonder why girls don't like nice guys.
Hey, I love nice guys. I'm married to really nice guys. Nice guys. David's plural.
More than one.
I married all of the Davids.
Look, I have a thing for David, so I married
Okay.
all of them.
They are all mine now.
Look. Can I ask you guys a question? An
No.
opinion
No.
question?
No.
No.
Never mind then.
Carry on.
My question is, after chapter 14, once chapter 15 started, were you super confused about what was going on?
Yes.
Yes, I thought we were missing a chapter.
Me too!
Oh,
I was so confused.
because like it was like a flashback, right?
Mm-hmm.
For like a couple of
Yeah.
chapters, but they did not make that clear at all. It was
No.
suddenly
No.
like them in a field and then them back at training.
So
I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, who are these people talking about fields that have died and why do we care?
yeah,
I was
and
so
all the people in the
confused.
field are like, those people have never seen a Titan before. They don't know hardships and blah blah blah. And I was like, damn, this is what's happening.
Where did we go?
Yeah, I got
I was
very
like,
confused.
I got got really sad because Levi was not there, and I was like, we just got to see him again, and now he's gone. But yeah, it was like, once they started getting into the training and stuff, it was really interesting and like really cool to learn. But the whole transition was very, very jarring. It was not made clear. The transition between the chapters did not, like, I had to go back and reread it because I was like, did I miss it?
The transition back too.
Yeah, the
was
transition.
so confusing when suddenly they were like, "Oh, P.S. Now he's in a cell because remember he turned into a Titan," and I was like, "Oh, we're back to the story."
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But didn't it transition? Did I get this mixed up? Didn't it transition? It's from Marco. Marco was talking to Jean. Isn't that when it transitioned back? When
I don't know.
do you guys not remember Marco? How do you not remember Marco? I bawled like a
Marco
baby.
died.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Because when he's talking to Jean during their training, and then he's like, "Jean, your power is," or whatever, and then it like transitions out, and then Jean is staring at Marco's dead body. Like that was the transition back into present time. Okay, and then Aaron was in the cell.
Happening, but I don't remember that being the transition back into that thing.
Yeah,
maybe I'm just cray.
Yeah. Well. I'm not going to argue with you.
Okay.
I'm not going to argue with you that you're correct.
No, I think that was the Marco thing was the end of one chapter. Then the start of the cell was the start of another chapter.
Yeah.
So that's what.
Yeah, that's what the Marco thing is. What brought it back to the present, which I cried. I don't even know. I couldn't even remember who Marco was when I was reading that part. And then Jean was like, all, and I was like, oh, it's so sad.
And the girl was just like, dude, what's his name? We need to get on with it.
Yeah,
I know.
that
She's
was
like,
so.
Gotta buck up right now. This is war, and I was like, damn.
That was intense.
I thought that it was really interesting, the whole idea that when Titans eat people, because we knew that they don't eat people because they need the sustenance, but I thought it was interesting, like, because they have no organs, they just eat until they can't hold anymore, and then they vomit all the bodies up. I was like, what? So gruesome.
It's so nasty.
Yeah.
But that sort of makes you wonder, why do they eat humans?
Yeah, like, what's the point if
What's
they're
the reason?
Well,
they
that's
just
been a
gorge
question
themselves.
for a while, right? Like, if they don't need to be eating them, if they just eat them supposedly, like, for pleasure or whatever. It's like, why?
I don't.
There's something going on.
Maybe
There's
that's like
something happening.
something from human brains. I don't know.
Say that again?
Maybe they get like neurotoxins or something from human brains that make them happy when they eat humans.
They're like, this is the best.
They're endorphins.
Yeah.
We're like Gatorade.
Yeah, Gatorade for Titans.
Yeah. Perfect.
Full of electrolytes.
Manga done. We don't need to read anymore.
Done.
We finished it for him.
We know the ending now.
We know. We ruined it for ourselves. We're Gatorade. Perfect. I think something that one of my favorite parts of everything that we read was the part when they were burning all of the people's bodies, and just Jean's whole, because he was like going to do the police force. Yeah, the transformation for him, it was so breathtaking, just moving, just how he was so dead set on being the police force because he doesn't do anything for anybody else, and he's only about himself. And he is still like, he still maintains that mindset in some way, but he is much more about like, I need to be a leader because this is where my strength lies. Like, I may not be the strongest person, but that's where my strength is. And so I thought that whole thing was really touching. I think that's when I like cried the most during what we read.
Yeah, I really liked that scene too.
This is a really good scene.
Yeah, because like we have seen, like Jean hasn't really been a major character at all, but we've seen him be an asshat so many times up to this point.
Yeah.
That watching him have this moment where he realizes that whatever choice he makes is not entirely about him. It's about possibly like reversing things for the human race in general and like fighting for something bigger than just his life. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Damn, Jean.
Damn, Jean, you moving.
Damn, Jean.
Damn,
Big hearts. He became one of my. He became a character that I really cared about just within a few pages. It was very strange.
It was incredibly. Yeah, it was like his character development was so incredible in such a short amount of time. Like the mangaka is really good at making you feel something for those characters in like a very natural way. Like it doesn't feel forced. It's like such authentic feelings from everybody, like from the characters. Like it just all feels so like raw and authentic that it just makes you care about all of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think the mangaka is very good at doing that, which is neat.
Yeah. Which
Go
I think was
mangaka!
really well translated into the first episode as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because the whole mother thing that we knew what was going to happen, and then it was just like,
I could not. It was.
my heart, I can't
I'm not
handle.
even gonna lie to you. I know that we're probably gonna be talking about this more in depth later on in this podcast, but I bawled at the end of that episode.
Oh my god!
Dang
It was.
Just like, oh.
It was so well done. Just
Yeah.
with the music, with Yuki Kaiju's voice acting, with the slow motion, and like I even talked to, or I was thinking about the censoring, like how they turned away, like cut back and forth between his face and the mom. Like I thought that was more impactful in a way than showing it straight up. Like it was very classy censoring in my opinion. It was just very moving. That whole scene was so. I can't even describe it. It was just amazing. It was iconic in a way, I think, now for me. Just in general, yeah.
Yeah, but it definitely gives you a lot of hope that all of those moments that we know are going to happen because we've already read them,
Yeah.
those moments that are just really brutal, we know that they're going to be portrayed in a way that's very emotional at the same time, and not
We
just
hope
like,
so,
brutality
yes.
for the sake of it in terms
Yeah.
of how it comes across. So
Yeah, I hope it keeps up. I hope it stays that as authentic in the rest of this series.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I can say that the first episode made me super, super excited for the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I think it was probably the best first episode I've seen in probably since Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
Sword Art Online's first episode was amazing, and I think
Yeah.
this was probably as good as that.
I thought this was better than Sword Arts, and I thought Sword Arts was a really, really good. I mean, they're pretty different in their tone.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
they're very
absolutely.
different, but I still like felt so much more impact from this first episode than. But I mean, Sword Art's first episode is amazing.
yeah.
It's really, really good.
Okay.
let's-
Yes. Sorry. What were
Well,
you
no,
gonna
you
say?
can talk. You can talk. I just want to take a drink from my jar. So if you want to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Feel free to take a
Is
drink
that-
from your jar. I was.
It's a mason jar.
What's
This is me pulling out my
Not
Nebraska. Yeah, it's a canning jar. It was.
Jazza.
It's for
We
like
don't.
pickles. For homemade
can't-
salsa. It's for
Can
like
things at home.
when you make
jars?
homemade like veggies, pickled veggies. You put them in there, and then you put a lid on.
Oh,
This is an
Aaron.
old one.
Aaron, we grew up on farms
We
and
did.
stuff. We grew up in the middle of nowhere.
I have.
where
David and
people
I.
can things.
I know. Must be a big deal. Like,
I was like-
it's a big deal where we are. I mean, my aunts would all get together to can things.
Oh,
It was like a weekly
yeah.
thing.
I do.
We just go down to the shop to buy them. We need them.
But homemade, dude.
But if you have
Homemade
a garden
is
and you
so
have
good.
too much of something, you don't want to waste it, so you can it.
We have a golf course next door, if that helps.
No,
So,
that's not the same, Dazza.
Jazza.
Dazza.
I have a beach.
We
There
are
we go.
huge rednecks. I have a beach. Well, whatever.
Well, good.
Fine.
Good, Dazza.
David and I actually got like a smaller version of these with like glass candlesticks glued to the bottom, and they're like wine glasses for one of our wedding presents.
That's awesome.
It's really cool. But anyway, enough talking about our redneck farm growth.
What I was gonna say is, moving on in chronological order, we could talk about the trial.
Yes.
How the
Yes,
trial
that-
was.
I like the trial.
Oh, I loved the trial.
I liked
What
it
were you
mainly
guys
because
like
the
about it?
politics behind it all. It seemed very interesting how you had the conservatives being like, God gave us these walls to live under. And then the other one's just like, shut up, dude. You're talking crap. I wish more politicians were like that. I wish they were like, yeah, you're talking crap, dude. Just shut the fudge up.
He's like, just
But-
stop, you imbecile.
Yeah.
I liked that the judge figure, like the chancellor figure, I liked that he actually was neutral. He was
Yeah.
willing
Yeah.
to listen to everybody. They didn't portray him as having a strong bias. He's just like, all right, give me your ideas. Like, is this going to be a danger to us? Can we control it? What are our options?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I really liked that because so often in any form of media, the leader of something, especially this sort of a situation where it's just like a bunch of people who are crammed into this one place and have no options. Normally there's some sort of a dictatorial figure.
Yeah.
And he didn't seem that way at all, which was nice.
Yeah. It was a nice change of pace. It was like
Yeah.
out of like the norm for this type of.
It's how I feel it should go in the real world, but we know it doesn't.
Yeah.
But
True. I really like the inclusion because there's more. It seemed like I'm interested to see if they bring that back. Like I think they will. The whole like political and the religious ideas behind everything and how that like can influence people, the way people treat one another, and like the whole criticism of that. It seems like
Well,
it's
the
just a
judge
tip
did
of a
say-
criticism of that.
the judge
'Cause
did
Aaron's-
say. The judge did say, "Oh, we'll bring it back after the mission and then do a retrial to sort of work
Right.
out if we'll do it." But of
Yeah.
course, I'm up, so I'm not going to say anything. But
Oh, that's right. You read? Didn't you read? You're all caught up.
I'm
Yeah.
caught up. The new chapter
Oh,
came out
damn.
today, and it was like I think it's a 150-page chapter that came out today.
What? Damn.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
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 Oh man, I'm trying to remember like if there was anything else about the trial specifically. I love the way that they're bringing in the idea of the different classes within the walls as well, like how the people who are on the field are able to say, you guys really shouldn't have a say in this because you've literally never seen a Titan before. Like you've never interacted with a Titan. You've never had to deal with that as an actual threat
Yeah.
because you hide behind the innermost wall. Like you shouldn't be part of this.
Yeah.
And I thought
I
that was really
love that.
interesting because they haven't talked a whole lot about, you know, like the ultra wealthy versus the ultra
Yeah.
poor in this society. But it came up just a little bit there, and I really liked that.
I agree. I really enjoyed that part, especially when Levi was like, when he went after Aaron like went off and started yelling. Which is something else I want to touch on really quick after I finish this thought. But Levi's whole points about like your guys' fat asses haven't even seen anything. Like
Yeah.
we protect you. You don't get a say because we're the ones who protect you while you're out there like just eating and getting fat. Like.
Yeah.
You guys don't get a say in what we think is like what is considered dangerous. Like if we who have faced the Titans every single day like say that this is going to help us, then we should be the ones to make that call.
Yeah,
Which I thought was super powerful, and why I love him so much. But
Just kicks him in the face. That's how.
I
oh,
know. He just like beat him up.
beat him up.
Oh.
And I was
Oh.
like, I love Aaron, but you go, Levi. You showed off those powerful skills.
Of course, we saw at I think it was the next chapter. He just regenerates anyway.
Yeah,
so
he's.
it's okay.
I know. Yeah, when they were
Generates.
like, "Oh, you're poor too." Oh, it's growing back.
It's like, oh, it's
whatever.
It's fine. It's totally fine. Something I want to touch on the trial with Aaron was when he's walking in and the one girl tells him to just be very honest in his like reactions and what he says and to like not try to sugarcoat it or not try to think what are they gonna like what do they want to hear. Like she was like, you need to say what's your gut instinct because we're gonna take everything you say at face value. And I love the fact that like before, like we saw this in the first chapter and like the first episode, like he's so quick to get set off. And I love that I love that they showed his thought process through it. He's like, okay, I shouldn't say anything. Like I get why they're saying
I need
this.
to stop
I need to
talking.
not say this.
Yeah.
I need to stop talking. And then when he was like, no, they need to hear me say this stuff. And then when he did go off, like it didn't feel like one of those awkward moments to me in like other time and like other manga where they just keep going and you're like, shut up, what are you doing, just shut up. Like this one I was like, you go Aaron, you keep talking, you keep talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when
should hear
Levi
this.
beat him up, then I was like, okay, you're so cool. But but I still like really liked how Aaron when he started talking. I liked when he started talking and like I was like, dang, you pissed boy when he, I was
Yeah.
hearing what he was saying, but I still loved that he waited to talk until later. Like that showed like a bit of character, like a lot of character development for him. So I really liked that part.
Yeah.
Go, Aaron.
But at the same time, before the trial happened and he was in his cell, like him just being himself and being really quick to be angry is what made Levi vouch for him in the first place and be like, because you have some guts.
Yeah.
And he brings that up again. Levi brings that up again later on when he's like, nobody's gonna be able to break that spirit. Like that's the reason. Like why we should trust him is because nobody's gonna break that spirit no matter what. Like he has things that need to be learned that are like barbaric like actions and his just gut instinct, but like his whole spirit, like that's what's gonna end up being the salvation or whatever.
It's not something that you can teach a person to be like that. And he's like that naturally. So
yeah.
I
love it. I loved, speaking of Aaron, I loved the fact that he was the only one who couldn't do the rope exercise at the beginning of training, even though it was like faulty equipment, which kind of made me be like, but just the idea that like everyone else, even Armin got it, and he's just like, what is the secret to this? I don't understand.
Why was he so bad at this?
Why was so bad? But I really enjoyed the fact that he wasn't good with that at first.
I got confused. Okay, so at that point, I was still really confused about the time. And I was like, is this happening after all of that just happened? And then I was like, can he not do it because of the Titan within? Like, I was like, what is happening? And
the Titan within.
Yeah, and then as I started to realize, okay, this is actually like a flashback. Yeah. And then it turned out it was faulty. I was like, I thought that this was going to be a way bigger deal than it was.
Right? I was like, wait, okay. I felt so, I held my head for a really long time after he smacked his head on the ground. I was like, oh my god. That was one of those things that's just so painful to see happen to somebody else. And he was so out of it. I was like, did he get a concussion? Like, did he like lose some brain cells or something? Because he was just like, for a really long time after. But yeah, I felt so bad for him when that happened.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what happened after the trial. Was it his? They
took him to the castle.
Well, they took him to the castle, and I had that mid chapter as well, from the castle to them leaving to the castle, which I think was a flashback one, if I recall correctly, and the side chapter with the other girl, who was in the forest with the notebook.
The girl who.
And
yes.
And the speaking Titan.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was so interesting, and then she just like died, and I was like, ah!
I was like, when she got the little bit of hope, I was like, whoa, what is this gonna be? What is it gonna lead into? And then she ended up dying anyway.
Yeah.
No, I think that chapter was
like the point. What?
I think the chapter was more to show the Titan more than anything.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because the Titan spoke.
Yeah.
If you guys remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you guys think about that? How it spoke and seemed to have something there.
Well, it was obviously like restraining itself, right? Because like after it spoke that first time, when she kept trying to get it to speak again, it was like curled up in a ball, and when it looked back up, it was literally holding its own face back, which I thought was really interesting. Like I feel like, there was that war inside, which again makes me feel like all Titans are just people.
At least the intelligent one, like the ones that are able to say something. Like, I don't know if all Titans are people. Or maybe they are. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. What do I know? I don't know anything.
We know that people are Gatorade, and that's all we need to know. That's all we need to know.
Done. Mangapod over. What are the Titans? Speaking of Titans, okay.
Yes.
The fact that like the one squad leader who is like super like gives the Titans names.
Oh my gosh,
like
she was
loves them.
She was so cute.
And she's like, Sunny, bear with it, Sunny, which made me really sad because I used to have a guinea pig named Sunny, and so that made me like. But
I remember Sunny.
Sunny, he was great. But her whole like wanting to like treating them kind of like pets and like giving them feelings, and then them bringing up how all the Titans are so light. Like, what is that about? That's really interesting.
Yeah, and equating that to their ability to just vanish, or at least the Colossus one's ability to vanish. Yeah, I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah,
I really liked her character because she seemed to have the instinct to want to know more about the Titans rather than just be scared of them, and she wanted to connect with them, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't portray her as being like naive. Like she's been in battle. She's
she understands what's going on.
Yeah. She just has that inherent like curiosity.
Yeah.
That she wants to know more, and she's not scared of like going to search for it. So.
I want to know who killed them though. Was it another Titan?
Well, was it a human that was a Titan? What was it?
What if it was the priest? The priest man.
Maybe. No, but
what if they
it was
back
done
to
with
humans?
What?
They know that the person used like the machine though, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Don't they know that somehow?
Well, they have to use some part of the 3D maneuver gear.
In order to slice. Were they sliced or were they?
Well, they sliced the back of the neck,
and then they.
Yeah,
poop.
but then I think that's their central nervous cortex or something, and they just destroys.
Yeah.
That's where the people are, guys.
Yeah,
in the nape.
They're right in the nape.
The nape. Who is gonna be in the giant girl Titan?
I want it. You know who I want it to be?
I want it to be Armin's mom. Go on.
Oh, that would be interesting.
You go on. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
No, it's fine. No, this is the time to be excited.
No, you go.
I kept wondering if it was going to be Annie, the girl who was like super good at everything, and then decided she wanted to be in the Royal Guard.
Oh yeah.
And everybody was like, "Why aren't you going out on the field?" And she was like, "I want to save myself. I don't want to."
Ooh.
But they spent a lot of time like developing her, and then she wound up not going into the squad. And I was like, Annie,
yeah,
what you doing, Annie? I want her to be a Titan.
Oh man, and like her dad taught her those one like martial arts skills or whatever.
Yeah. But you might be right because they always have like something about them that resembles the person, and her hair is a lot like Armin's hair.
That's what, and like the way she looks at him. Doesn't she say? I couldn't tell like if the speech bubble was coming from her or Jean, but like Armin is like, oh no, never mind, I figured it out.
She didn't say anything.
Yeah, she just looked at him during the flashback.
She like pulled back his hood and stared at him and then walked away.
And then later, like she looked at him again when he was getting his head wrapped, like he was remembering her looking at him again. Yeah. And I don't know if it was it looked like he had recognition on his face was what did it for me. Like both times she pulls back the hood. Like it could also be that he was surprised that she didn't kill him, but the second time it made me wonder.
Yeah.
What's up, Dazza?
What, Dazza?
What?
I'm not saying anything.
Oh, you know!
Oh, you son of
a bitch!
Thank you so much, Dazza.
No!
You can't even speculate with us. You have to just sit there and laugh at us. I hate you.
The chat is just like, we know how you feel, Dazza, and I'm just like, yeah.
Don't do it. Do not do it. You will be deleted from the Skype call.
I'm not going to say anything, trust me.
Never come back to MangaPod.
I know, you get banned if you post spoilers, and I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Dazza gets banned from everything.
Dazza gets banned entirely. We're like, look.
We replace you.
Dazza.
Who?
With a Kuroko character.
I was going to say, who would Dazza be replaced with?
I don't know. I was trying to think.
Taco?
Okay, let's stay on topic. Let's stay on topic.
This is important. Fine.
Alright.
We can...
Alright, I've got a question for you guys.
Hit me.
And this goes back to the side story.
Okay.
The Titan said Ymir Summer.
Yes.
Speculate. What does the Titan mean by that?
I don't know.
Why was he saying Ymir Summer?
Words.
Wait, what is my thought? I had something.
I was gonna say you looked like you figured it out, or like you were with something.
Could it be Aaron's dad? The name of Aaron, like a name used for Aaron's dad, if he was like a leader or something. That's what I think. Aaron's dad.
Okay.
See, what
But I
I
don't know.
wondered was if he as the Titan recognized her, and that was a person that was like in her life.
But she didn't say her.
I don't know.
Wait, okay, somebody, I think it was Yoku in the chat, says that we should take bets on who we think the Titans
yeah, I was
are.
about
So
to
we'll
say
have to
that.
come back to that. But I don't know who. I don't know. Dob is somebody important. A leader? Maybe it's the person that made the first Titan.
Who?
Or somebody. Like, the person, like, if the first person to become a Titan.
The woman is?
No. The, the name that was spoken by the one Titan. Yumiya-sama. 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 Maybe that girl or man that is Yumiya-sama was the very first Titan, or was the very first person to make a Titan. If the Titans are artificially, like, human-made,
Yeah.
then he/she was the one who made the first one. And, like, yeah, that's my theory.
And that person Titan had like a moment of clarity where they were like, I need to get this information to somebody. But she didn't write it down, did she?
Yeah,
No,
she wrote.
no.
She
didn't write down what he said. She just said, he spoke, la 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 la.
And then he was like,
and then
great.
asked it other questions.
Yeah. Then he said something about great. So could it be so could the Titan have been saying great Yumiya-sama, or it could have been like great balls of fire?
It could have been that. That's
Could've
what
been
my bet
anything.
is.
it just becomes grease.
Didn't appreciate it. We're overthinking this, guys.
You guys, the whole thing is that he's saying and the person cried. Are we right, Dazza? Are we right?
Dazza!
Tell us if
Come on.
we're right. The old boy.
I'm not saying my lips are sealed.
I love that every manga we read, it either becomes a basketball manga or the ending to Old Boy is the ending for every single manga. That's
Oh no.
Attack on Titan's gonna end as a musical. A basketball musical.
I just tried to imagine how it could possibly end like the Old Boy movie.
Actually, oh god, no.
That the end of the Old Boy movie is how
Imagine.
It's
But
just different tools.
I just imagined that like actually never mind.
No, you have to say it. You have to say it.
Imagining like Aaron's dad, right, disappeared, turned himself into a lady Titan, and there's gonna be this scene where Aaron turns into a man Titan, and then they bang, and then there's a moment where somebody says to him, Aaron, you banged your dad as a Titan, and they go, no!
Or his dad could be the female Titan.
That's what I mean!
Now I'm picturing Titan sex.
And then they banged, but he had no idea.
Incestual Titan
And then he cuts
sex.
out his tongue. This is gonna happen, you guys.
Just bang like this. So how they gonna do it like this? Oh my
They have
god.
like no genitalia, you're right. So there's
They're just flopping against one another. This is why we need Yokurama.
Anyway, get back.
Oh no.
Where do you go from incestual Titan sex?
I'm trying to take bets, guys.
Bets.
Focus.
Bets. Who do we think?
I've got nothing. I can't. I've got. My mind is blank with titans bumping up against each other.
Oh.
Okay, the girl Titan I think is Armin's mom. Or Aaron's dad.
Alright, we're gonna put it writing down for us.
We're sorry, chat. Thank you guys for watching. This is Manga Pod.
Honestly, after we've discussed this, I feel like you're probably right, and it is Armin's mom. But just for the sake of choosing something different, I'm gonna say maybe it's Annie.
Okay.
Even though now I don't think it's Annie, but I just want to bet on something different. So,
Okay, perfect. Wait, I need to write. I don't have. Oh, I have Post-it notes.
Good.
Okay.
So,
And it's really tiny Sharpie. Okay, so you are betting against me,
Yes.
right? Midoruma, what do you have to say? Shinchan? Shinchan?
Baka.
Baka.
Well, if you're gonna be that way about it.
You're not invited to speak anymore.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, wow. Hold on, okay. So, what other bets? Dazza, do you have any bet that you can do that's spoiler free?
I want to know what's in the basement.
Oh!
The basement hasn't been brought up yet.
That's true. I was thinking about this. So I wonder if cause the guy who leads the scouting people, he mentioned that their plan of action is that they're going to they have to first retake Wall Maria. What?
Sorry, keep going.
No, what's
Don't worry, it's fine.
They have to retake
Don't-
Wall Maria, and then they have to go find the basement. And so,
Yeah.
so I think the next few while is going to be. That is the best out of context tweet ever.
I know. Those of you who are watching right now, I just tweeted at
Oh, you won't be able to see
how do we
it.
move on from incestual titan sex, because I think it's one of our better manga pod quotes. Anyway,
Such a great quote.
T-shirt.
If MangaPod ever gets an animated adaptation, that needs to be the first one, please. Us talking about
The banging of
the banging.
please. Perfect.
Perfect. Somebody asked in
the
somebody
basement.
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 I don't
What's gonna be in the basement? I'm curious about that.
the answers.
All the answers. All the answers.
We are really bad with our phones tonight.
No, it's just Twitter
I don't-
going off.
I think
I personally think that
what was the name? What did the Titans say? Isawa-sama? What did the
Yamiya-sama.
Emiya-sama. What if Emiya-sama is in the basement?
Yamiya-sama.
Emiya-sama.
Okay.
What if
Maybe.
she is in the basement?
Maybe.
I didn't write anything. I just scribbled.
Really good. This is going really well.
This is really. This is the best manga pod.
They have no way to. They don't read genetic data in this world, right? They don't
Right.
like science.
We
hasn't
don't-
to that
I don't
point
know.
that we know of. So I'm assuming
No.
there isn't any genetic stuff down there, like to
I was
prove
thinking
there's
like a
DNA
bio-
touching.
thing.
What?
I thought it was a biological lab kind of thing down the basement, where
Yeah.
they see and properly study, not just be like, "Hey, lol, let's stick this thing into a Titan and see what happens."
That's what I
Like-
kept wondering, but
that's
I wasn't
another
sure
thing.
that they knew enough
See-
about it to be able to do that.
What I didn't get from the manga was how far into the future it was,
Yeah.
and the anime cleared that up because it said 2,000 years into the future, Titans now rule the land.
Oh, that's right.
And I was just like, oh, well, now I guess they're in the future, so they must at least have some sort of knowledge of our old technology. There must be at least someone there that knows.
Yeah.
And who else would it be but the father who's disappeared? Ooh.
The doctor father.
Ooh.
Oh.
I think.
He just flew out way into the
Okay,
past.
I'll make a bet for Biolab. Biolab.
I'll go with
That was.
I will give you a whole pound coin
Oh.
if it turns out.
Oh, we're changing currency.
Yep.
Okay,
To be fair, we don't
Biolab.
all have the same currency anyway, so
Biolab. Okay.
whatever.
Wait. Do you
Turns out
say?
I have like
Do you say Biolab as well? Daz?
I do.
Okay.
And
D?
I'm gonna throw in a 20-cent Kiwi coin.
oh dang.
Oh. I want some
Yeah.
kiwi.
He just said actual
Just
just
for-
in the mail.
yes.
Like, oh,
I'll take some kiwi.
delicious.
Oh, just for the sake of being different than D&D. I'm gonna
We
say
are a very successful game, Daza.
I'm gonna say
The dog-
that it is a what did I say? That Iwasama Mama is down there.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
If you could write
It's
it
in-
down exactly like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
so, yeah.
Mama-
Iwasawama Sama.
Perfect.
Boom. Okay, so we have those two bets. We have I think
Sweet.
that the Titan is going to be Armin's mom. Dodger thinks it's Annie. Then we have Biolab versus Iwasama Mama.
Osama Mama.
Iwasama Mama.
Osama Mama.
Yes. What did you guys think about the art for the stuff that we read? Because did you think it slowly got better? Because a lot of time with manga, when it first starts out, it's very rough, but it slowly gets better. You can see it's very easy to see transition in newer mangaka art style. What did you think about this one?
Well,
Did you notice any
I
considerable
thought
differences?
personally it did get better. The faces got a bit more defined, and the lines were a bit less linear, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's put up a reference. You talk, I reference.
Dodger?
To me,
Yeah,
it
like-
went up and down.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Do you have a reference?
Reference.
Well, it's like here you can actually see like proper emotions, and they're like defined emotions. They're not just like, oh, they're quite sad. And the Titans seem all Titans seem unique as well now, and but instead of having like the same derpy face, they all seem a little bit more unique.
Yeah.
But of course, what we read, some of it was from the Tanoboken. I think I said that wrong, which is like the compilation, which has always been touched up. Like when you read One Piece,
gotcha.
Yeah.
it's touched up, whereas the some of it was also the chapter ones, which weren't as good, and you could definitely see the difference between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, of what we read, I think last time when we talked, we said that it slowly got better, but that there was obviously way more work put into the Titans than anything else.
Anything else?
And I felt this time like the art kind of went up and down. There were some times when all of the shading was literally just like pen scribble, and you could tell.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but that's I think that's because it was a chapter one. I'm trying to see if I can
Yeah.
find it again. Oh no, I'm on the wrong chapter.
Oh, Daza.
But yeah, and then sometimes the lines were like super defined and the shadows were really well done. And I was like, dang, it's like all going up and down. But if it's all coming from different sources,
Yeah.
then I get it. But I wouldn't be able to say that, yes, it definitely got better, because sometimes it seemed hurried, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really didn't seem to like it really didn't change that much. There wasn't that much, like, it wasn't too big of a difference between the original, like, or not the original, but the first chapter, like, first volumes. It wasn't that big of a difference. I think what stood out to me the most was the action scenes. There was much, like, I can't remember if it had, like, a ton of big panels in the first few volumes, but that last chapter, those last few chapters, there were a ton. And I thought that, like, the action scenes were really well done. Like, I think he's always, like, been very good at the action scenes, but, like, they continually stayed very well done. Like, there was a lot of gore. Like, I mean, it's been gory the entire time.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like he's gotten more creative with the ways of killing people, especially in that last fight. When he's, like, swinging, the Titan's swinging.
When
and
she
it's
was
just,
like swinging that
and
dude
the-
around.
I was like,
Like
that
that
would
one
be...
right there where he smashes against a tree.
Yeah, that
Oh,
one's
yeah, there's that
horrible. The guy, when he was, like, swatting around and his body was just being crushed by, like, how fast she was swinging him, I was like, I said out loud, that would be a horrible way to die. I was like, I don't want that happening to me
Yeah.
at any point in my life.
Yeah, I mean,
But
it's always been gruesome.
yeah, I just
Yeah.
I like that I just think he's getting even more creative with it. But it doesn't feel like he's striving to do it. It just feels like it's very, I don't I welcome
It's like, oh,
it.
this
I welcome it.
way
It
to-
keeps it interesting. Yeah, it keeps it interesting. And like there was a second when it was Gene, Armin, and that one other guy, I can't remember who it was. I thought for sure that Gene had been the one that got crushed. Like there's still times
Really?
where like it's really like it's hard to differentiate between who's doing what.
I
Like
agree.
there's a lot of time where characters look very similar to one another. Like there's been so many times where I've thought like one of the main people got killed, like one of the main girls got killed, and I was like, why did they not talk about that more? And I'm like, oh, she's alive.
Oh, there she is.
Oh,
Yeah.
there she is.
Yeah, I do have to say that this isn't one of the mangaka where you know exactly what's happening in terms of
Yeah.
people all the time.
Yeah. You have to look
Sometimes
very carefully.
there's like a girl with brunette hair, and you think, "Oh, that's so and so," and it turns out it's not at all.
Yeah.
That
I think
has
that's
happened
more
many
due
times.
I think that's more due to the actual style as well,
Mm-hmm.
because it's the lines, like it's very liney, and all the lines
Huh.
sort of merge together. If that
Oh,
makes sense.
uh-huh.
And it's in black and white, which doesn't help. When
What?
it's in black and white, you can't. It's black and white. You couldn't. I was in black.
Ugh! Dang it! Thought I was reading in color.
Ugh.
So the worst.
But yeah, I think that really helps when it moves over to the anime. We can see the different hair colors and stuff, which
Oh,
would be
yeah.
really good. It's like what was it? What was I reading? Toriko. I was like, oh wow, he's got like black hair, and it turns out he's got blue hair.
I have a problem with
Aaron had
that.
that problem.
When for the longest time, I think I got to chapter like 100 and some of Kuroko, and then I found out his hair was blue, and I was like,
Your
What?
mind just
what?
melted.
And I texted Dodge, and she's like, yeah? Did you not see the very first cover art? I was like, what? I was mind blown. But yeah,
But yeah,
That
I think the color.
yeah, I think it's gonna be easier to different. But yeah, like the art style leaves it very difficult to find out who is who, and a lot of times. But I really loved the full panel stuff
Yeah.
in the last few chapters. I thought it was so it upped the tension just seeing all of it. Just seeing the entire widespread
Yeah.
detail, like it made it so much more intense and like realistic. Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
think
man.
that's like why they did it, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's a story about these beings that literally tower over you.
Yeah.
So using full panels is such a great way to show like depth.
How
Yeah.
big
Make you just
people
feel
are.
like, oh my god, they're so big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes it seem that much more terrifying putting
Yeah.
yourself in their shoes. Like you get such a good idea about how tall and how fearsome those creatures are. Just
Yeah, and they just gotta be like,
horror.
"Yep, we're gonna
The
kill you."
horror. Yeah, they don't even think about it. They're just like,
Yeah. And we're just like.
I really the panel you showed, I really loved the whole when they go into the forest and he's like, this is the
Yeah.
perfect place to use your 3D stuff. I was like, you're so smart.
Yeah.
It's so cool. And so like it was really neat to see them like jumping off of the trees and stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I think I can't wait for that scene to be animated.
That's exactly what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
In the PV, they showed part of that as well, and I'm just
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I think it's probably going to be the ending of the first core, like the first 13 episodes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, speaking of the animation, I'm really glad that I watched the first episode before I read the manga chapters for this week because it helped me visualize the way those machines work so
Yeah.
much better.
Yeah.
After watching just one episode, I was like, oh, I get it. That intro was awesome.
Oh my god!
Yes.
Oh, that intro! I had like, oh my god, it was so good. The first time I watched it, I stopped so I could rewatch that intro. It was so great. I think it's my favorite
that was-
intro for a while, like that I've seen in a really long time.
Yeah.
It reminded me a little of I don't know why. I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but it reminded me a little of Death Note's intro, like a little bit. Just the feel of it.
Yeah.
Directed Death Note.
Yeah, they're directed by the same person.
Whoa.
Who, while we're talking about the anime and the director, that guy makes the best pilot episodes of anime. Every single pilot episode he has done has been so good. Like whether or not the series overall ends up being great, the pilot episode is always perfect. Like 10 out of 10, fantastic.
It's so hard to do good pilots.
So High School of the Dead as well.
Yeah,
Wasn't
he did
that some?
Yeah, he did a High School
Yeah.
of the Dead, which had a very good. I can't say necessarily that I liked the I mean I loved High School of the Dead. Like I have my criticism
don't lie,
of it.
Aaron. You liked it.
The boobs.
All the boobs.
The boobs
I think
really hit me.
better reference would be Guilty Crown. 'Cause
Yeah, Guilty Crown was
Guilty Crown had an amazing first few episodes.
Oh my god, I always talk about Guilty Crown being my disappointing anime because I loved the first few episodes. I was like, this is going to change so many people. Like this is such a good anime. Like so many people need to watch this. This is brilliant. This is beautiful. Like I felt so many things during that episode. And then by the end of the series, like I cannot say the same. It's really
so sad.
disappointing as overall, but I mean, I still recommend that series based off of those first few episodes.
And the
because
music as well.
and the music throughout the entire thing, which is like another thing the director is great at picking. Like the soundtrack for every single series he works on is really good. It's always really good. That's why I'm like really excited just to have him directing it. He knows how to do suspense and he knows how to do horror. He's very good at doing that. So and goosebump moments. He's great at the goosebump moments.
Yeah. Oh, are we like officially talking about the episode?
Yeah,
now?
we should talk about the episode because we're
Yeah,
like
we'll talk about it.
we're doing time stuff. So
Okay.
yeah, let's talk
So,
about the episode.
I absolutely love that because in the manga, you know, the Titans are always just like white blob people basically. And I really love that in the anime they have kind of like opalescent skin. Like their skin
Yeah.
has an interesting texture to it and like
Yeah.
a weird color to it. I thought that was really interesting. And
It's
just
sort of like, is it yellowy color? Like a.
it's kind of like a
yellowy-
like a
yellow.
pinky green. It's like pearl-ish.
I have to get a reference up for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's hold on.
I really loved how contrasty the Giants and Titans were to the gorgeous backgrounds. Like I
Yeah.
thought that was really interesting. Like
Yeah.
such a great use of color and a great use to like a great way to impact how horrifying these creatures are. Like it just makes you fear them more.
Yeah.
Like the visual, like you can't turn away because it looks so great and like this peaceful, perfect background in contrast with something so horrific and disturbing was so awesome. It was such a
Yeah.
great use of the scenery.
Every time they showed a Titan's face, not the Colossus because he just kind of like sits there with his like muscle face, but like
And it's just
all of but all of the other Titans with their giant grins, I was like, you are
Yes.
horrifying in color.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Horrifying moving. I would not. You know, I used to dream of dinosaurs eating me. I dream of Titans now. It's horrifying.
Oh my gosh, today when I tweeted being like, everybody should watch this episode, it's incredible, like it's so beautiful and so well done. It was cool because a lot of people tweeted back being like, I haven't watched an anime in so long and I just watched this and I'm so excited to keep watching it. It was
good.
really, really good.
Oh, that's good.
But then there were a couple people who were like, Dodger, it's right before bed. And that ending horrified me. I was like, I'm so sorry.
So sorry. It's so terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so, like, you can't take your eyes off it, though. You don't, it's just so beautifully, like, captivating how horrific it is that you're so disturbed and shocked, but you don't want to turn away. Like, you want to know what happens next. Like, you can't take your eyes off of it. It's like watching a car accident, I guess. Like, not in, like, a bad, like, oh, this is really awkward way, but in a way that's, like, it's so horrifying. That's something that humans always do. Like, something is so horrifying and disturbing, and, like, other people are getting injured, but you can't take your eyes away
You
from
have
it.
to-
You
have
still
to
have
watch it.
to watch it. So you want to know how it ends and what's going on. So it's kind of like that. I thought, oh, so disturbing. Perfect. It was great.
Side note, everybody's eyes were gorgeous.
right?
I thought that their eyes were so pretty. And it's funny because
They're so pretty.
it It made me think of Amnesia, like
Yeah.
how they tried to make the eyes like super interesting in Amnesia, and I was like, wow, their eyes are really cool. And after a while, I was like, God, I'm so sick of these multicolored eyes. I hate this so much. And then just seeing eyes that were, normal in terms of color, but done in such a beautiful way, I was like, that honestly has more impact to me, I think. Like, they were just so
And they
pretty,
had-
and they were all so brilliant.
Yeah, one of my favorite things was how they did they focused on the eyes as well. Like they did like close-up shots of the eyes looking up at the sky, being really scared, and you could see a kind of reflection of the Titans in the eyeball itself.
Yeah.
But it's
So subtle.
just the emotion that you saw in the eyes, and I think it was that the emotion on all of the faces I think were really well done as well. And they actually animated all the faces, which I thought was really good considering what I saw before that.
What?
What are you talking about? Talking about the oh what?
I was going to say the Titans as well. They had a kind of they felt like, you know how in Evangelion, how the what are they called again? The angels had that sort of massive kind of feeling, and they felt like alien. I felt the Titans used kind of that kind of animation style as well, which Hideki Anno actually was when he started in Nausicaa, and I thought that was really cool how they're kind of using that style as well.
Oh.
But of course, it is production IG, so it's kind
Yeah.
of the same staff, and they've got the same kind of people, which is really cool. But
I
it was
loved how we were talking about this before. I don't know if I said it on here or if it was before we started the podcast, but I loved how the art, like the animation of the characters, is so like the harsh lines around the characters looks kind of like comic booky and also reminiscent of older anime from like 80s and before. Like that kind of generation of anime is very reminiscent of that, but much higher production, like looks like really great. And so I
Lines are
loved
there,
that
but they're
stuff.
softer.
Yeah, like I just loved how it's a very different style than I've seen lately.
it's not
but
as
it looks
digital.
great. Yeah, it's not
Like
as it
most
feels
anime these
warmer.
days, it's just like a line of face, then the noses, and then the eyes. Whereas this one had the whole cheekbones and the
Yeah.
forehead, and creases as well in the middle of the eyes, which is something that's reminiscent of older anime because they actually drew those in instead of now.
Yeah.
Just
They
being
took
like,
the
"Hey,
effort.
well,"
Yeah,
so-
that attention to detail I think makes it stand out even more as a whole. This art style. What did you guys think about the voice acting in it?
I thought it was great.
I'm biased. I love Yuki Kaji's voice. There's a ton of he gets a lot of hate for a lot of stuff he does, but I think he is like he always has so much emotion. He's perfect for really dramatic roles. So I thought he was really, really great. So you guys thought he was good too?
Yeah, I thought all of the
I'm-
voice acting was really good.
Yeah, all of it was great in my opinion too.
I'm gonna really hold off like the proper voice acting until we get to the big scenes because that's
Yeah.
when it really come out. Like the ones where he actually becomes the Titan and screams and the yelling. Because I think that really shows the impact of voices rather than the whole talking moments.
Right.
Because mind you, he did voice Haruyuki in Axel World and did an amazing job of that.
Yeah.
Who else did he do? He's done
He
a lot
did
of
Shu. He did Shu and Guilty Crown. Which is another one. I know his voice was great in that. He did somebody in K. He was in Project K, wasn't he?
He was
He was Yasuno, Isana
Totsuka.
in that, or was I wrong?
Yeah, he was Totsuka Tatara.
Oh, that's right, Tosca. Yeah, he's done a lot. He's somebody who's getting big. He's definitely been doing way more research. He's really young, isn't he? He's pretty young.
He was born in 1985.
That's young.
No, yeah, that's what I said.
Under 30.
There was
right?
one person like from the show I was
Like 2
looking
years
at in
older than
States,
me.
1994, and I'm just like, dude's younger than what I am. That's so weird.
Oh man, yeah. The voice acting was great. The art was amazing. It was just overall, like we were saying, such a superb premiere episode.
Yeah.
So
the
great.
only scene that I feel like could have been done better was when the scouts come back, that whole scene where they were interacting with the mother.
Yeah.
It didn't feel quite as genuine as the rest of the episode. And I don't exactly know why. Maybe, possibly because when they were like knelt down, when he started screaming and their hair started like flowing in the wind and everything was just flying everywhere, I was like, where's this wind coming from? From the power of your honesty? I don't understand. That didn't make any sense to me. I didn't think that was portrayed the best way.
Yeah.
But I thought everything else was done perfectly. It was so good. And it didn't have that weird, like we were talking about how it was such a good pilot episode, it didn't have that weird feeling that a lot of pilot anime episodes have, where it's like they're over-explaining everything. Get you caught up about what the town is and what's going on. And
a few people I heard didn't like the first episode that as much as what people who read the manga did, because it wasn't explained as well.
Oh, really?
Which I suppose is a bit fair enough, because we know and we're like, oh yeah, we understand what's going on, where they're just like thrown to the whole world, and it's just like, oh yes, you want us to get drunk but we're kids moment, where we kind of understood that a bit more. That's just probably
true.
our what's the term, that's our bias towards it, I suppose.
No, I feel like I feel this way about video games as well when I'm like critically talking about video games, but like I think that too much media doesn't make us think. Like there's so many forms of media now where they just tell you everything and they don't allow you to imply things or, you know, make connections on your own. But again, we've all read the manga, so I don't know how that first episode would have been if I hadn't read the manga before. But
that's true. I didn't really.
See, I prefer...
Oh, go on.
Go on, Aaron.
I was just gonna say that I was just. I was just gonna agree with you guys. That's all I wanted. No, I'm gonna be interested because I immediately after Sherlock.
He's being the biggest butthole right now.
You can see that.
Oh man. What was I gonna say? Oh, I'm interested to see because immediately when I finish, I was just like, I need to show why is David out of the state. I need to show this to him immediately. So I'm gonna be interested to see, and I've like shown it to like a few people at work. I sent the trailer to all these people at work, being like, "This anime's coming out soon," and I know like not all of you even you know what anime is, but you need to watch this. And so I'm gonna be interested to see what all of them think of it if they haven't, because they haven't read the manga. So it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. Like I didn't even think about it when I was watching it. I thought it was like all explained very well.
Yeah.
So
it's hard to tell since we know so much.
Yeah. That's true.
What I think, one of my favorite things about it was actually something happened as well. Like, it wasn't just like a character building episode and then again the next one. Because I was really worried they would make the chapter like the prologue chapter.
Yeah.
Like, like you know how the chapter goes over 2 chapters and then something happens.
Yeah.
They're gonna make it like 3 episodes where the mother would die in the second episode, and then we'll get the whole emotional moments then. So I'm really happy something actually happened in the episode to like be like, oh wow, this is amazing, instead of just try and pretend to character build like another certain show I watched. I can
What?
What?
It's for another day.
We'll come back to that.
I go on about that show so much.
I was gonna say, people, if anyone in the comment or chat is wondering where you can watch Shingeki, I don't know if they've announced it. Last I knew, they hadn't officially announced it, but Funimation is supposedly getting streaming rights. But before that, nobody had streaming rights. MBS was being really weird about it.
Yeah.
But
I can kind of confirm something.
can you confirm it?
I can confirm that MDS are being buttholes and
They're
are
being huge buttholes. They're being so dumb.
They're in a bidding war for streaming rights to it. So whoever pays
they
the
are.
most gets it, and because pretty much everywhere across the world wants it. Yeah, there's only one place, I think it's France, that actually got the streaming rights.
Yeah, France is the only one that's gotten rights to it. So
France. What are
so
you
good
doing?
luck. Good job, France viewers. French viewers. You got
You
it.
did it.
Crunchyroll has like tried their hardest to get
Crunchyroll
it.
wants it so bad. I want them to get it, but I know they will.
What I can say though is that the home video release
Ian?
announcement will be coming very soon. The streaming rights ones may not ever come. So,
Yeah.
which is a bit annoying, but
Ian says that he found a link, but if it's pirated, then we don't necessarily want to endorse it. But if you Google, if you go into YouTube and if you type in Shingeki no Kyojin episode 1, you may find it. Just keep looking. So, not that we told you. Don't say, you didn't hear from here. But if you Google it, you'll find it. It's one of the biggest releases this season, if not the biggest, which is why it's so lame that they're not offering us. What are you doing?
Yes.
Stop growling
well,
at
we
me.
saw online. We saw what happened with Fate Zero. We saw what happened with Kuroko no Basuke. We want the money.
Yeah.
And the being
They're being buttholes about it. So
To be
dumb.
fair, it is very pretty.
It's so
and
it's gorgeous. If you guys did not watch it, go watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's great.
If you there's no reason. It's 24 minutes that you are going to be so happy you spent watching anime.
I think a good question would be, how do you think it's going to end the anime? Do you reckon it's going to be anime only ending, or do you reckon they're just going to continue it as far as they can?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Oh man, I don't know.
That was actually
Was that a chat question?
my YouTube. That was actually,
Oh.
and I was like, I don't actually know, because I personally think that it's going to be popular enough to be like, oh yeah, we're going to announce the second season. It's going to come out like Bakuman did, or like Kuroko no Basuke,
Yeah,
and just
that's
come
how
out.
I was. Yeah. That's what I would always prefer, but I'd also be interested to see how they would anime only end it.
Yeah. But
Well, but they did announce today that they are bringing out OVA of the side story that we saw. The side story, Titan and the girl. But they're bringing out the OVA in August the 12th, I think it is. So
Yeah.
we'll see that.
So we'll have that. I wonder, because it's set for 22
20.
episodes? 25? Set for 25? Okay. I wonder, because
that means they're gonna catch up
yeah.
really quick. I wouldn't be surprised if they did an anime only ending.
Yeah. They paced the first episode incredibly well, though.
Yeah,
So-
but they
but
also,
I don't know if they'll be able to
They
keep
also
that pacing.
combined
How many
two
chapters? Was it two?
So it's
One
2 chapters
episode?
they combined?
I thought it was.
I don't remember that far back, to be honest.
Yeah.
When did the
I just
mother
feel
die?
like they're
If anyone
probably
knows,
gonna catch
People
up
are-
really quick because it doesn't come out that often.
it comes
so.
monthly,
Yeah.
yeah.
I agree. Like Yokorama in the chat said that he wants it to
Wow.
end at the end of an arc and then continue it once there's more, which
Yeah.
I always think is like a really great way to do things. That's what they're doing with Kuroko.
Yeah. They might finish it where it is now, like the manga.
Yeah, that'd be a
Oh,
really
maybe.
good ending.
Like the big chapter that would just happen for a dump chapter, which I haven't read yet
Well-
because it's not out. Just
Oh, the one where you just ended. Oh, okay.
Oh, I see.
yeah,
I see. Yeah.
because I think that would be the end of the major arc that's happening at the moment. Not going to say what it is, but
Oh man, I need to read more. I need to read more. Let's see.
that was good. Yeah, someone said it in the chat, but I'm not going to say anything. So that person should be timed out for spoiling.
Timer? Timeouts? Do you guys have any? Oh, by the way, when you mentioned wind like 10 minutes ago, it made me think of, if you guys were not here for the very first manga pod, there was a moment where we were talking about anime openings and how there's always like a girl crying into the wind, and that's how the
Falling
title
in the
pops
wind.
up. And
Yes.
Yokorama mentioned that Armin would be the one crying into the wind, and I was really disappointed that didn't happen.
I forgot about that. Oh my god, that would have been so great.
It would have been so funny. Oh man. Can somebody make that for
I was
us?
just about to say, look.
Look guys, we don't
We're
not gonna ask for a lot.
Out there.
We know
One of
you
you
guys
is an
have the
animator.
talent. Armin crying into the wind and Attack on
That's
Titan
all.
so
We don't need the full opening. We just need
We just
Armin
want-
crying.
We just need Armin
Oh,
crying.
that's all we need.
We all want it and we will love you so much. Not that we already don't love you, we love you. But we
love
will
most
love
of-
you more.
That Yokorama dude, I don't like that guy very much.
I like Shin-chan much more.
Yeah.
He's so soon, he won't even talk to us. Okay, well, do you guys have any final thoughts? Let's do ratings of what we read, and also, I mean, we're pretty obvious what our ratings are, but should we do it anyway? Might as well.
What was my rating last time? I'm trying to remember.
We didn't do ratings on the first one.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Because
I
we were.
probably would have given it like a 9 the first time around.
Yeah.
This time around, I would give it a slightly less rating because it was being so confusing when it went back in time.
Mm-hmm.
I
The
would give it
transitions
an
were weird.
8. That's right, an 8
Oh.
because
Hard 8 or flaccid 8?
a hard 8. An
That's good.
erect 8.
the hard 8.
It's not just hard, it's erect. So,
Wow. That
yes.
is quite the 8.
It's quite the 8.
The
Because
vein popping 8.
it was still extremely interesting, and I still really want to know what's going to happen. But it got confusing at parts.
Yeah, I agree.
That's my rating.
What about the episode?
What about the yeah?
What?
The episode.
If not for that wind scene, man, give it a 9.
9.
No.
It's a good solid number. What about you?
Good
What about you?
erect 9.
See, for the episode, I'm giving it a flaccid 9 because if it was any harder, it would be a 10.
True?
Yes. It's any harder.
But the chapters, I'd say 7.5, just because of where we ended it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it gets so much better really soon, and just where we ended it was just like.
Yeah. I agree.
But no, as someone says in the chat, it gets harder. It gets harder as size increases.
Yes.
You make that as you will.
Biology lesson with MangaPod chat.
Aaron, what was your score?
The anime, I'm gonna give a 9 because, like, there was, I don't know, maybe I want to give it a 10, but it was so good. I'm gonna give it a 9 because, and I don't know why, maybe it's 9 because I can't decide.
Because of the wind, Aaron.
Because of the wind. The wind is a
No,
9.
why, Aaron?
Yokorama, we have the best rating system. You shush. Now, to give my manga rating, I would say it's about an 8 because of how confusing transition was, and also it was a lot more dialogue heavy in a lot of spots that kind of like made it a little bit harder to sift through, but I still thought it was really, really great. I'm gonna give it a 9. It's a hard 9 because that's how my boner was for Levi.
Right.
So Levi gave me a lady boner, and
Right.
that is why I'm giving it a hard 9. Hard 8. Whatever I gave, it's hard.
just something hard.
It's something hard.
Really, the rating is fully erect. Take
It's-
that as you will.
It's true.
Hey, my
If
rating
Levi's
is-
involved,
Your rating is
anything
flat.
is
It doesn't got to
rude.
be that
We're all
hard.
on different scales, okay?
Scales of hardness and
Thank you
erectness.
for watching the manga.
Levi is the sexy beast. Bamf. Boom. I love you, David.
So we're going to announce what we're reading next week.
Yes, we will. Daza, do you have the document open?
I actually do.
Oh my god, that's why we keep you around. You're amazing.
We are going to, on April the 16th, we are going to be reading we're reading before that. We're going to be talking about Densha Otoko, volumes 1 to 3, chapters 1 to 27. Densha Otoko is... I'm going to give like a little synopsis. Densha Otoko is a story about a guy who meets a girl on a train. Something happens there and he falls in love with her. The guy happens to be an otaku of the highest caliber. And that unfolds. So you get it. I've watched the what's the drama, because there's a drama of it, a gay
Yeah.
drama, which is really good. One of my favorite scenes is when like the antagonist girl walks through and the Darth Vader music. It's great.
What?
Yeah, one of the scenes. It's like the girl, the antagonist girl. I'm not going to say who because they might come up in the manga. Walks through a foyer to the main guy, and the Darth Vader music is just in the background.
What?
And her ring on his phone is the Darth Vader music. It's great.
How did they get the rights to that?
It's gonna be amazing. I'm just gonna play that song the entire time I read it
Do
now.
what you want.
Do what we want.
So
Oh man, we have a lot of good manga coming up. That should be
the
good.
drama's good. I'm looking forward to reading the manga.
Well, how many chapters, volumes? Is it all of it?
I'm checking. I didn't have it that far up. Oh, you
What did
linked
you
to
have
Amazon.
I linked to Amazon. Yeah, I linked to Amazon because we support copyrights.
Yeah.
On the
Mangapod.
on the Reddit, you linked to Amazon, and I was waiting for you to link to the Mao. Oh, which one are we
Oh.
reading? I've totally forgotten. Because there's like 3 different manga.
This is
Oh.
falling apart. You're a mess.
You're a mess, Daza. It's because you don't have your glasses on.
We're reading all of it because both the mangas are 3 volumes each.
Okay,
So
we're reading all of it, guys. All of it. All of it.
And the one we're reading, and I'm going to make an executive decision here, is Densha Otoko Net Hatsu Kai Kueki Taisha no Love Story.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that's the right one.
Wait, how much are we
I'm
reading?
just... All of
All
it.
of it.
It's 3 volumes.
Okay.
Are we reading
What?
Gangsta yet? Can we read Gangsta?
We're in
I'm
Gangster
so
yet.
excited. I'm so excited for Gangsta.
Sorry.
Not yet,
I'll
Aaron. Gosh.
Gosh, this is why we have a
Calm down.
schedule.
Wow.
Soon. We're reading that on in May 28th.
I'm so excited for that one. Okay, but anyway, next week we will be reading Daza title.
Densha Otoko.
Densha
Oh, tra-
Otoko. Yokorama is being awesome mod and he posted it in the
I
chat.
was just about to do that.
You're too late.
Too late, Daza.
Slower
I
than
should just.
God.
Yes,
I
you
brought
should.
shame to my-
Yes, you should. Shame. Shame yourself.
Wow. It's getting brutal.
Anyway, we should wrap this up. This has just been derailed. This is what happens when we don't have
Bring
Yokorama.
a trade manga. Boom.
What? Oh, we're reading a... LOL.
Lol.
LOL. You should be Izuki. That's the Kuroko character you are. You're Pun Man. Yes, I know all the
names.
You're Pun Man. Boom.
Yeah.
I'll be Kisei. Dodger is Kuroko. It's great.
Do what we can. I feel like I have too many emotions to be Kuroko.
But you
I
have
smile
the
too
wig.
often.
You have the wig.
I do have the wig.
Transforms you.
Closet.
I think you'd be more that girl, the girl, one.
Manager.
Yeah,
She's
Ida,
awesome.
Rico.
yeah.
She's
I think
great.
that's who
Her
would be.
brain is a lot better than mine. But
You
I
can't
would
just
take
look
that
at some. You
compliment.
can't just look at a guy and
I can't just look at a person and know
analyze
their
all of their aptitudes.
Aaron's like, I do that all the
I
time.
do that all the
attitude.
What do
I
you
do that
mean?
every day.
Every single day.
That's how I
That's why
decide
it
who
goes
I'm
to
going to
you.
be friends with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
I would like to invite everyone to the MangaPod Reddit, the subreddit, because I'm doing more CSS to it, and I made an awesome banner.
Daz is being amazing with the Reddit, guys. It's great.
Like, I made an awesome banner. I'm very proud of it.
It's great. Have I seen it? I'm just saying it's great because I know that it's gonna be great if you did it. What?
Wait, it's like
Oh.
look at it now.
Oh, it looks so awesome!
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I'm trying to work out how to get our faces onto the sidebar.
Oh god, can they
without-
all be really dorky faces?
Just all of
I
us.
got the six.
crossed.
Somebody needs to Photoshop
Faces.
these.
Like,
This would be great.
I've got a picture of that.
It looks-
I'm working with.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay, guys, let's shout out our stuff and then wrap up the best manga pod we've ever had. Dodger?
Hi. I have a gaming channel called youtube.com/pressheart to continue, and I have a daily vlog channel called youtube.com/dexterity-bonus. I just yesterday got back from England and put up Englandy vlogs while I was there, and just today put up a vlog about the event that I went to. So if that interests you, go watch that. My Twitter is @dexbonus, DEXBONUS. Mwah, mwah. Done.
Boom! You got that down to a science.
Good.
That was good.
I'm
Shin-chan?
not that good. Alright, let's try this. Hi, I'm Dr. Dazza. I have an anime review channel, which is called www.youtube.com/FlyingNippon. You can go subscribe to me over there. It is really awesome. I've got lots of first impressions up of most of the series that are out at the moment. I'm still looking forward to Railgun S. It's going to be amazing. Anyway, I've also got an anime news channel called www.youtube.com.
www.com.
Anime news
Yeah.
every Although I missed today because I was sick this morning, so it
Yeah.
wasn't good.
Sad.
I also tweet a lot about random crap, mostly about anime, on @DrDazza on Twitter, which is always good. You can follow me there, and we can be best friends when you retweet me and I tweet you gifts. I'm going to tweet lots of gifts now. It's going to be awesome.
No.
Like yesterday when I just started tweeting you angry gifts.
I found so many gifts. I'm so happy.
Oh
I'm
man,
so-
editing Remag. If you want a GIF while I am on my work computer, you will get a GIF from anywhere.
I'm so happy that Google is animate. You can Google image animated stuff now.
It's the
It makes
most
my life
amazing
much
thing.
more-
It's amazing. Okay, anyway, continuing to wrap this up. I am Erin of Happily Erin. I do all sorts of anime reviews and first impressions on my channel. I also upload the VOD for MangaPod there as well, as soon as possible after it has ended. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than others, but usually it goes up night of or the next day. So I just also posted a vlog of my trip to England, which was my very first vlog ever. Thank you guys
And
who
it was
watched it. I've had a lot of people say they watched the whole thing, and I'm just like, an hour of your time? Why? Thank
it
you.
was an hour long. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I was like, I just kept talking forever.
Is that how long I spent watching it? God damn it.
Yes. Aw, Dazza. You're so sweet. So yeah, I just posted that. If you want to find out my trip to how my London or England trip was, you can watch that. And I'll be doing
We didn't go together.
No.
It turned out we were both in England.
At the
We're not
same
actually
time.
friends.
She smells.
I do. I do smell, Erin.
I just want a heated towel rack. That sounds awesome.
Oh my
Right?
god, the heated towel rack. Not that we use the same heated towel rack, but towel racks are amazing when they're
Yeah,
heated.
they were separate heated towel racks.
Anyway.
Anyway, also
if
you can...
if you want to find out
you
other
can-
host, Yokorama, he's somewhere in the world.
He's...
Yokorama
Yokorama Game Talk. He doesn't talk about games.
He doesn't talk
But
about
he does
games.
really great
That's
anime
where you
stuff.
find him.
Oh man, boom. Thank you guys so much for watching our manga pod this week. We really appreciate it. Every single week, if you want to watch us next week, we'll be here same time, same place, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on, well, this place, twitch.tv/happilyerin. Yeah. Also follow all of our Twitters in which we will announce it if like we're running late or anything is being changed. So sure you follow us on there. We love you all so much. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.